Yeah, we can start, sir.
Yeah. Hi. Good evening to all, and warm welcome to our event today. This expert talk on campus to corporate roadmap to success. First, I introduce myself. I'm Prabhakar KS, Head Training and Placements, J.N.N Group of Institutions. And first, my sincere thanks to Dr. KogilaVani Gopalan, IT Director, Flowserve Corporation, to accept our invitation to benefit students community, and a sincere thanks to our management for accepted to do this program YouTube live. And mostly the students from right beginning from first year, they take the training in aptitude, technical, soft skill, and etc. But still there is a lag. Few of the students, they struggle to crack the corporate interviews. This program, I assure, it helps you to crack more corporate interviews, and you can get a knowledge through the expert. And I'm happy to share Dr. KogilaVani Gopalan profile. Vani is a seasoned IT director in business technology with 2 decades of corporate experience in top-notch organizations like IBM, Invesco, and Flowserve Corporation in driving enterprise advancements through state-of-art technologies. She drives growth, efficiency, and profitability by leading strategic business, IT, and M&A initiatives that generates significant return of investment. Wani leverages innovative and collaborative leadership skills to build and direct high performing teams and accomplish strategic objectives. She is a recipient of awards such as Unified Brands of India Award the Excellence for Innovation and Organizational Leadership Excellence. Her doctorate in organizational leadership, along with certifications in ITIL and Prince to APM, Proisy, change practitioner, enables her to deliver her duties effortlessly. Personally, her mission is to enable a million of graduates successfully transition from campus to corporate and climb to corporate ladder. She is also passionate about bringing the best out of the people via constructive coaching and mentoring in her passion, and her and have impacted 1,000+ lives of executives, women, and students. And once again, I welcome Dr. KogilaVani Gopalan, and I request her to take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prabhakar. That was a wonderful introduction. I'm truly humbled by that. And today, I would say it's equally an honor to be part of this session because I believe I'm going to be speaking to the leaders of our nation, leaders of the world. Let's get started. So, totally excited to be part of this group today. Yeah, so I'm going to share my screen quickly. So in today's program, what are we going to do is I've actually divided the session into two parts. One is to make sure that I impart or enable the students who are listening to this program to make sure that they are able to crack the interviews. Basically, they are interview ready in terms of making their resume, in terms of making their cover letter, and the interviewing skills that's going to help them to strategically answer the questions in the most powerful way. And the next slot is pretty much going to be on enhancing the employability of the associates and making them industry ready. So the transition is not simple. This is a transformation from campus to corporate. It is not like a just do it thing. But then I would also like to encourage the participants and the students and let them know that it is not tough. It is not an impossible thing that can't be achieved. And I would encourage all the participants who are listening to me today is this journey is very interesting. This journey is energizing. This journey is equally important. So enjoy it. Do not stress about it. And the next thing that I'm going to cover in the session is understanding those 10 corporate buzzwords and the abbreviation. There are a lot of things that you would hear once you hit the corporate journey. And then the essential aspects of that you need to keep in mind when you enter the world of work. So let's get into the session quickly. There are some technical issues here. I'm not able to share the screen.
You want that day you are done now, like
Yeah, I did it,
sharing
but
the
yes, yes.
yeah, it's getting now.
Okay. Is it good? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, madam, but it will be better if you share the entire screen.
Yeah, the entire screen is not getting shared. It's going in this mode only. Mm, it is getting grayed out. Entire screen is grayed out. I don't know why. That
No,
yesterday it
what you
was.
have done, you do repeat and you press the F5, sufficient, it covers the entire screen.
Yeah, can I do that, sir? Because the entire screen, I think, is grayed out now.
Yeah, please proceed, madam.
Okay. So I'm doing F5 now. Is it visible? Yeah. Can you see that, sir?
Yeah, you please press the F5. I think so.
Yeah, F5 is pressed already.
Okay, the bottom fourth icon you press, right?
Yes, yes, I did it. So are you not able to see it full screen? I can see full screen here.
Okay, might be. From my side also network issue be there. So please continue, but it's visible.
It's visible? Okay. All right. Like I said, the first topic for today is resume and cover letter readiness. What I have seen out of my interviewing experiences, students actually do not have a right format of the resume. In terms of choosing the standard format or writing their accomplishments, writing their name and contact details and things like that. I would want the students to understand that resume is the first contact between the company and the candidate. So that is what introduces you to the company before even you introduce yourself. So the resume writing is a record of your academic and professional achievement, skills and certifications and things like that, which should be taken seriously. So here are some points that you need to remember when you write your resume. Make sure that you're choosing a format that fits in, and make sure that you're writing your contact information and your personal details right without any spelling mistakes. List your educational information correctly on the resume. Do not lie anything on the resume or CV. Put relevant skills on the resume. For example, like hard skills and soft skills. Hard skill could be something like Java, even if you're a technical person, or something like a cashier if you're a finance person, or so on and so forth. Whereas soft skills would be something like your leadership skills, could be adaptability, could be change agent or change management and things like that. Do not write very simple skills like, I'm a hardworking person, and I can write articles and things like that. And also, please make sure that you include important sections in the resume, like hobbies and interest. If you have done any voluntary work, you can include that. Certifications and award, and languages, publication and projects and things like that. Like in your college, in your last semester, you're pretty much covering your project. So please make sure that you write a detailed information about what project you have done and what was your role and what was the accomplishment of the project, so that the interviewer gets a good understanding about who you are, what is your name, and then what are your skill sets, your hard skill versus soft skills, and then your hobbies and interests and things like that, which would help them to understand you better when you are called for a personal interview. So here is a format that I'm sharing. The first thing is contact information. Second thing is the resume objective. In a bit, I'm going to cover about the elevator pitch, about how do you write a summary statement for yourself, be it in your resume, or how do you basically introduce yourself. And the next thing is work experience. In case if you worked part-time, or in case if you have a little bit of work experience, even could be for a month or so, please make sure that you write it. And then the next thing is about you writing your skills, and then the additional information session. And this is a template that talks about your resume. So the next thing that is a very important thing I'm going to draw your attention here is writing an elevator pitch. So what is an elevator pitch, right? Elevator pitch is nothing but a 30 seconds to 90 second speech where you're talking about yourself. You're sharing your unique selling points. Basically, you're talking about how unique you are and who you are that would benefit the organization. Normally, what happens when the candidates come for interview, they don't come prepared for this question. This is the most important question one should be very, very thoroughly prepared of. No matter you prepare even for 200 times, stand in front of the mirror, write an elevator pitch for yourself, and keep practicing until you become so proficient that you can go ahead and speak very confidently about yourself. And what this elevator pitch is all about, right? This should, when you're writing an elevator pitch, you should already have read the job description for the job that you're applying for in the organization. You could go as a trainee associate, but then you should know which organization you're applying for. What is the business of that organization? What are the business objectives of the organization? What are the core values of the organization? And what are they talking in their company website about? What do they offer to the world in terms of business? Are they doing any like a corporate social responsibility, or what is the value and behavior of that company, so that you can incorporate that in your 30 seconds to 90 seconds elevator pitch. Know your audience. Who are you going to speak to? Emphasize on your key personal traits. If you are someone who is very career focused, you're someone who is very enthusiastic, you are passionate, talk about that. And make sure that you're perfecting your pitch. You can perfect your pitch only when you practice. Practice is the only mantra for qualifying in your first interview round, where you are asked to talk about yourself, and that is through your elevator pitch. Stay connected, stay engaging. So I would invite all of you to write at least 100 words elevator pitch about yourself. I see candidates coming ahead and saying like myself Rajesh or myself Kavita. That is grammatically wrong, and moreover you don't represent yourself that way. You can say, hello, my name is Kavita, I'm a master's student. If you can see, I've given an example that talks perfectly about who the candidate is, what she likes about the company, and why she thinks she is the deserving candidate for the job. And she is also well read and aware of the company's uh, role, what the company does, and then the company's culture as well. So when a candidate is so well prepared about who they are and what they can offer to the organization, that is what helps you to getting selected to the next rounds. Right. The next thing is, how do you complement your resume with a cover letter? Basically, the cover letter acts as a tool to crack your job interview. So this is an enhancement to your resume. Normally, you see, not everyone prepares a cover letter because people think it's boring, it's a time consuming process, and they think like nobody looks at it. And some people fear, like, what do I write in the cover letter? So I'm going to give you some very key, simple tips on what needs to be included in the cover letter when you are actually applying for a job interview. It could be a campus interview as well. But people ask you for your resume. I see people, the candidates, roll a paper and give it to me when I'm asking for a resume. It's like one page and not formatted correctly, and sometimes there are spelling errors, and sometimes things are not written properly. So that doesn't set the right impression in the minds of the interviewers when they are actually talking to you. This is a serious thing, right? So resume has to be, when you're creating your resume, you need to make sure that you are spending good enough time where you are reviewing each and everything that you're writing on the resume. And then moving on to the cover letter, what do you write in the cover letter? Make sure that you're creating a very professional header with the information, like you're addressing the hiring manager by their name. So no sir and madams and things like that, right? And then show the relevant achievements that you have done to introduce yourself. Basically, you can put the elevator pitch that I spoke about in the first section, right? And the second section, you can talk about the employer's need. What is the requirement of the job role? And you prove it to them that you are the right candidate for that role. And explain to them in terms of convincing them as to how you can make a difference in their organization. By joining their company, what difference can you bring? So this you will get to know only when you read their company profile. And let them know that you are available. And then conclude it. So when you're focusing on these 3 or 4 aspects and writing your cover letter, it gives a good understanding to the interviewer or the recruiter that you are serious in this job, and you are someone who's highly interested in taking this job, and you will give your 100% or 110% in this job. Please remember this. I think it's not only us, it's not only the candidate who's pretty much interested to avail the job, right? It's even the organizations are looking for hiring future leaders, and they want to invest a lot in your career. They want to invest in training you. They want to invest in making sure that you are equipped with enough the knowledge and skills and everything to make sure that you are successful, and eventually the organizations also can be successful. So when they are making an investment decision, they want to make sure that they hire a serious candidate. What are some of the powerful action verbs that you can use when you're writing your resume or cover letter? See, these are some of the examples, and I'm going to pass on these slides to you. But then a few to mention, right? Like, if you want to talk about your personal traits, you can talk about passion. You're a person who takes high responsibility. You're a person who demonstrate leadership, things like that, which will really make the other person feel that yes, you are the candidate. And you talk about your collaboration skills. You talk about how did you present in your project, how did you speak in your presentation. These things actually helps them to get an idea about who you are as a person. Are you collaborative? Are you a person with a lot of team management skills, or are you a team player? And are you someone who is like driven by the purpose? So these are the action verbs that will help you to write your resume, and it would actually talk for yourself. And lastly, how do you wrap it up? Like I said before, always make sure that you are using Grammarly or you're doing a spell check on your resume. better safe than sorry. Because a lot of the times I remember in my interviewing journey where we see people, doing mistakes on spellings and things like that, we don't feel comfortable in hiring those candidates because resume is a very serious thing. And if you're not being serious about writing your resume properly, how serious are you going to be in performing your work? And also make sure that you are checking the email of the recruiter where they're asking you some specific information along with your resume, along with your cover letter and things like that, so that you are extra cautious in providing that information firsthand itself. And if you're sending the resume through email or so, make sure that you're saving it properly. Like for example, Satish Kumar, and if you're applying for an ABAP developer role, make sure that you're writing ABAP developer, then resume, and then save it. Instead of just adding some random names to it. So right from the time you're creating your resume and you're forwarding to the company, you are actually making sure that you are setting that lasting impression to the organization. And you're not leaving even one stone unturned, making sure that you are being successful in cracking the job interview. Now we're going to look at the strategies to answer the interview questions powerfully. And I'm going to give you.
KogilaVani, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
And the PPT is not clearly visible. So can you share that PPT to Sitaraman, Mr. Sitaraman, so that he can handle? It's not visible in mobile clearly.
Oh, is it okay? So can I stop share and send it to email?
Sitaraman, sir.
இல்ல இல்ல சார், இப்போ என்னால இங்க இருந்து ஸ்ட்ரீமும் பண்ணிட்டு ஐ cannot do the both the things சார்.
Okay.
மேடம் வந்து அத என்டையர் ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் பண்ணா ட்ரை பண்ணா நல்லா இருக்கும்.
இல்லங்க சார், அது வந்து கிரேட் அவுட்டா காட்டுது எனக்கு.
ஓ.
அது என்ன பண்ணனும் சார்? அதாவது you want to get a PPT or you can make it, or in what way you can do it?
Some other only can share because that cannot be done from my side.
Okay. Okay, Vani, just go ahead. As you see, you just check it out the possibility to show the entries.
Okay, let me just stop and reshare one more time and see whether it's coming. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Sure.
Please.
Yeah. But I don't know why it is happening this way. Yesterday I was able to share. Share screen. Okay. சார் இல்லைங்க சார், என்டையர் ஸ்க்ரீன் வந்து இது கிரேடோட தான் இருக்கு. What to do now?
Madam, please better
Okay,
and please rejoin in the same link, madam.
Sorry?
Please better quit one time and please rejoin the same link again.
Okay.
Madam, now you please try, madam. Madam, you are in mute.
சார் இல்லைங்க சார், கிரேடோட தான் வருது இப்போவுமே.
ஓகே மேடம், ப்ளீஸ் கண்டினியூ மேடம்.
அப்போ என்ன பண்ணுறது? இப்போ எப்படி நான் ஷேர் பண்ணிட்டு பேசட்டுமா இல்லை அப்படியே பேசட்டுமா?
No, you share, Vani, because no, even the Sitaraman is showing you and as well as the PPT.
Oh, is it okay?
That's random. No.
Okay then. Okay, is it visible?
Yes, madam, you can continue.
Okay, okay. Yes, the first step, I would say that rather the second step after your written test or written exam is what is group discussion. So, what the organizations expect from you in group discussion? I think the first and foremost feeling that the candidates or the students get once you hear about group discussion is nervousness. You think, oh God, I'm not able to crack it. You think, what are they going to ask in group discussion? Though you know, even though you know the topic, even though you know the content, you feel you feel that you're holding yourself back and you don't want to speak up for various reasons. But then I would like to tell you that through the group discussion, what they want to evaluate you is to make sure that they understand or make sure that they evaluate you based on your the way you speak on certain parameters like teamwork, social skills and behaviors, confidence, politeness, your listening ability, your problem solving skills, and how is your general awareness basically on the current affairs and things like that. And how is your communication skills? So these are the only things that they want to evaluate. So my piece of advice in attempting for group discussion would be like make sure that you have groomed yourself well because that is your first impression. And like I said before, first impression is the lasting impression as well. Secondly, make sure that if you are not clear on the question that is being asked, ask for clarification. There's no harm in asking for clarification. Be polite, be confident, speak loud and clear, be vocal. Don't speak within your mouth where people are not able to even make out what you're speaking. And it is not a war zone that we have to push others and talk about it, but then wait for your turn. Basically, the interviewer is looking to gauge your attitude, to gauge the social skill sets that you bring into the table. And then the other thing that I would like to reiterate here is make sure that you're listening carefully. Do not attempt to repeat the same point what the other person has said. And also in your group discussion or in your interview, basically make sure you maintain a very erect posture, not like slouching like this. And don't fold your arm like this, and which shows that either you are not open to discussion or you're not happy about the discussion. It doesn't show the right message to the interviewer or the person who's listening to you. So these are the few tips that you can follow when you are planning, when you're preparing for the group discussion, or when you're attempting for the group discussion. This is a very important thing that I want to share it with all of you. How do you crack at least 75% of the interview questions, right? And I've given all the interview questions that generally people ask. First thing is tell me about yourself. This is the question that is being asked for any role, be it a graduate trainee role or for a CEO role, right? This is a very common question that is asked for any interview. And this is where people fail to answer properly. And this is the deciding factor. I would say this is a deciding factor for oneself to take them to the next level of the interview. So, here, like I said, make sure that you have a proper elevator pitch. Write a one pager about yourself that covers about yourself, about the organization that you're applying for, the skill set that you can offer to the company, and then what are the traits that you have, and why you. Prepare it, rehearse it in front of the mirror for 200 times. And the 201th time, you'll be successful. Right? And the next question that they would ask you is, why are you interested in this position? Of course, they are investing in this position, right? They're investing in this role and they're making sure that they are hiring future leaders of the organization. So here the answer should be like some tip here. What I would like to give is your answer should be all about you. Right? What are you looking for? And what you can offer to that role based on the job description. Reading the job description is very important. Even if you are having a placement interview in your college, or if you're attending any walk-in interview or anything, Please make sure that you're getting in touch with your placement officers and ask them for the job description. Even for a graduate trainee, there would be some job description that the organizations are posting on the internet, or on the internet. So you need to make sure that you go through, read through, scan the job description, read it fully, and then see what value addition you can bring to the table. What are your strengths? What are your key strengths? This is one of the most common question that is being asked, and where we always fail to give very, random answers, or very simple answers, like I'm a hardworking person. Most of the times what I hear from people is I'm very hardworking, I am loyal, I'm trustworthy, I don't hurt anybody. These are not the answers that the organization is expecting from us, right? They're basically talking about the strengths that you can offer to the company, like work ethic. Like, I'm a person with strong work ethic. If I commit to deliver something, I'll make sure it happen. And I did this in my project work as well. You definitely relate it to the example that you have done in your college. Everyone has a project work in college, right? You can bring in a lot of examples about how did you work as a team in your college on your project work. How did you drive something to closure? How did you take lead in making sure that everyone is completing that assignment? So these are the things where you need to talk and you need to give your examples rather than saying you're hardworking. And another question that is very commonly asked is, what are your weaknesses? And let me tell you, there is no perfect answer to this, right? Normally what happens is people try to play their strength as their weakness. They say, like, I'm a very hardworking person, and that is why I end up, working in the night and morning and everything. That is why I'm spending too much of time, and I don't spend a lot of time on my personal life and things like that, which hampers my work life balance, and so on and so forth. Right? So here, if there is no harm in talking about your personality, like, naturally. If you're a straightforward person, you talk about it and give example. And if you are overcoming something, like for example procrastination, if you're overcoming something, there's no harm in saying that this is the thing that you had, and you're overcoming this trait by by following proper time management technique, by making a checklist for myself. So try to be honest, I would say. Be yourself, be authentic in the interviews, because the interviews are well experienced in hiring so many people. They might have seen thousands of people, right, like you. So when you try to say something which is not real, they easily get to know about it. And people shouldn't also, fail in answering the question, like, what are your hobbies? When you're not prepared to answer, see, interviews can never be impromptu. You just can't wake up and walk in and go for the interview, right? Of course, they're called as walk-in interviews. Walk-in interviews doesn't mean that you don't prepare for them. So if you're saying your hobby is to read books, actually it should be reading books. Because when you say my hobby is reading books, people are going to probe and ask you, like, what was the last book that you read? What are the key takeaways? And who are the characters? And what is it? They're going to ask so many questions about it. And normally, what I have seen is, when people talk something about their hobby, they just give cooked up stories, right? And they're not able to answer the next questions. No matter how good you have done in answering the other questions, if you are not able to give the right answer or the true answer for these kind of behavioral questions, people don't appreciate that. People don't qualify you to the next round. So my invitation to all of you is, like, prepare well. If you're going to say that your reading book is your hobby, it should be your hobby. If not, there are so many other things that you can talk about. And people are not going to hold you accountable if you say cycling is your hobby, or listening to music is your hobby, or whatever. It's your personal thing, and you have to share that in a very authentic way. That is what people want you to talk about, right? And the most important question that they also ask is, why do you want to work for us? Right? Again, here you need to talk about what can you offer to the organization. Emphasize on the job description. Emphasize on the strength that you can bring to the table. You may be a college graduate, that's okay. This is not only for the experienced people, even for college graduates, right? Only when you know the organization, only when you know their values and behaviors, you'll be able to relate to them as to what you can offer. Like the example I gave of Kavita. She's an MBA student. She's done some marketing, advertisements and things like that. But she's showing great interest in the organization because she understood the culture and she talks about the innovation and things about the culture. So that detail oriented you should be when you apply for jobs. Where do you see yourself in next 5 years? So here again, this is to test and check your long-term career goals. The hiring managers want to know how long you're going to stick on to the company and what is the career path that you can see for yourself. So here again, you need to talk about how serious you are about the role. Most importantly, you need to talk about why you want to work for this organization and how you want to build the career in this organization. And every time when you speak about the company, please make sure that you pronounce the company name very well. I've seen candidates not able to pronounce the company name very well, which shows that they have not prepared anything at all about the company. Right? And why are you the best candidate for this job? This is again another opportunity for you to talk about what is that you can offer from your strengths, from your skill sets, and how open are you to learning. And the next and the last question basically is, do you have any questions for me? In most of the interviews, what I see is people don't ask any questions. Either they are shy or either they are thinking like, okay, what do I ask? Or in case if they ask, the first thing that they ask is like, okay, what is my salary? Or they ask about, will I get a chance to work from home? Or they ask, what is the shift timing? How does the holidays look like? Of course, you can ask these questions, but at the right forum, at the right time. There will be different discussions scheduled for talking about the compensation and things like that, but not right there when they're asking you some questions about, do you have any questions and things. So some key aspects what you can think of here is you can ask about the qualities that they think is more important for that role. Okay, and then you can ask them about the most important project that the organization is running right now, and then you can ask them about a little bit more about the role itself, because that shows that you are interested in the role, you're interested in working with the company. The compensation and other benefits will follow automatically based on your performance. You don't have to really ask about it in a forum where you're not supposed to ask. Some common mistakes that normally interviewees do, right? The students or even the participants who come for applicants who come for interview. You focus on the interview, you focus on only around yourself, right? You just think it's only about me. So either you get too nervous or you're like too conscious and you just talk something out of flow. Do not focus too much about yourself. It's about the organization that is also interviewing you for the role. And you don't take time to think about the answer. Some candidates are so prompt, they don't listen carefully. And the interviewer is asking something and they are saying something. This actually tells right there that the candidate is not listening. It's okay to take time to answer. You can take 30 seconds to think an answer. Beating around the bush. When you don't know something, it's okay to say that I don't know. Don't try to cover it up and beat around the bush, because the interviewer will get to know that. And it's like wasting your time and their time. You don't understand the company and their product. Like I said, some examples are people don't pronounce the company names properly. They don't know what is the company that they are applying jobs for. See, this is a long-term relationship. When you're applying for a job with a company and when you're looking for a job in an organization, it's like you're building a long-term relationship in a company. So when you're building a long-term relationship, you need to take it seriously. You need to know about that company well. You seem kind of boring, like very lazy, lethargic, very slouchy, and you're not having the right body language and posture. Some candidates do this habit of begging, like, I need this job, I'm having this problem, that problem. You tend to discuss these things at the first meet itself with the interviewer, which is definitely not appreciated. Talking about salary and benefit before even the interviewer brings up is something which one should not do. And not asking questions is also something which is not appreciated. Please ask questions. Creating false stories and reasons and things like that would also be not be appreciated, because people get to know when they start probing. I would like to conclude this attending the interview and cracking the successful interview with this, right? So the mantra to successful interview is nothing but thorough practice and mock interviews. Make sure that you speak to your elders, or you speak to some of your seniors in your college, or some of the people who are already placed in the organization, or anyone, mentors or anybody, and ask them to conduct a mock interview for yourself before you hit any corporate interview. This is a must and a mandatory thing, because like I said, it's only through practice you can be successful. So thorough practice plus mock interview. It's just going to take 15 minutes. You can request someone to conduct a mock interview based on these questions and see how you're answering. Evaluate yourself. Ask them to provide you candid feedback, and evaluate yourself and see how you're doing. Because the research shows that people who land the best jobs are the ones who practice their skills repeatedly until they become strong. And think about it. This is like going to gym, right? You can't go to gym just for one day and say like, okay, I need to shed weight or I need to be fit. This is a continuous process. So I hope these tips would really help you in participating in the interview drive and answering these questions. And what is key here is preparation is key. Making your resume creative, having the right format, making sure there is no spelling errors, and making sure you're writing the right information over there is key. And it should be supported with the cover letter as well. And I've given you some tips on how to write the cover letter. Now, moving on to the next topic, like I said, now we understood a little bit about resume writing, cover letter, and how do you package that and bring it to the table when you attend interview, and then how do you also answer the questions powerfully. And only mantra is preparation. Right, and like I said, this is a transformation. It doesn't happen just like that. You just don't transition from college to corporate just like that. So, are you ready for this transition? Are you ready for this transformation? This will help you to enhance your employability and make sure that you are becoming industry ready. So, what are the key drivers to this transformation, right? Most of the organization, or most of the successful leaders, what they say hire for attitude and train for skills. So they want to hire people for their right attitude and skill set, like technical skills or whatever skills we can just train people by putting them on a 2 months training or a 6 months training or whatever, but then we give utmost importance to attitude. And that is why today we are going to cover the topics on soft skills plus technical skills. If you see the diagram here, 70% of what makes you successful is your soft skills, and only 30% is your technical skills. Yeah, soft skills can take you to places where your academic marks alone cannot take. It's very good if you're getting a very good grade, and if you're scoring great marks, it's all good. But then you should also have the right attitude when you are placed in an organization to work with people, because at the end of the day you're working with people, right? You're not working only with machines. So here are a couple of things that we're going to stress upon today. And these are the topics, right? We're going to talk about the behavior. Why behavior is that important? Behavior, dressing, communication skills, teamwork, time management, ambition, act and learn from mistakes, stress management, and taking responsibility. So I'm going to cover each topic in a little bit detail and give you some examples and nuances of what is expected out of you once you transition from your campus to corporate. What is behavior, right? So your beliefs don't make you a better person, but your behavior does. Think about it. Once you hit the floor when you're working in a corporate organization, once you're selected in a team, you're deployed in a project, you're being watched. Your behavior is being watched, your performance is being watched, you're monitored. It's like, being in Big Boss's house. And this is not to scare you at all, but you are being evaluated every day. You're being monitored every day. You're watched, your actions are watched, your words are watched, the way you behave, the way you dress up, everything is watched. So behavior plays a very vital role when you are a working professional. Yeah. When it comes to dressing and grooming, I would say dress for success. And this is a very big topic that would take a long time, but I'm just going to cover in snippets on what is important when we talk about corporate attire. So the 4 A's of dressing. Make sure that you are dressing appropriately. When I say appropriate, it is appropriate for that moment. You want to go for an interview, you just can't wear a torn jeans and just some round neck shirt and randomly just go on at an interview. You need to make sure that you're professionally dressed. This is respecting yourself and respecting the other person who is having the conversation with you. Appropriate for the occasion. At the same time, if you're going for a wedding, you can wear whatever you want, like the grand dress. Be authentic, be yourself in your dressing style. Don't try to be someone else, because people will get confused by who you are and who you want to show. Dress up only with things which you're comfortable with. Don't try to imitate somebody else. And the other A is affordable. Dressing for success doesn't mean that you go ahead and buy all costlier and expensive clothing. No, you need to have a combination of basic clothing versus your professional dresses and the classic pairing and things like that. At the same time, do not miss the attractive aspect of it. You can't seem very boring in a corporate setup. Just make sure that you are dressing up with energy and you look attractive in whatever pieces of clothes that you wear. Like I said when we started the session, your dressing actually creates the first and the lasting impression, because your attire actually introduces you to the crowd before even you speak. The way you look actually introduces you. So you need to make sure that you're taking utmost care about your grooming, like your hairstyle, or if you're doing a tattoo or whatever the Zen generation is doing right now. But I would let you know that please make sure that you are following the corporate etiquette and the proper dressing etiquette before you enter into the journey of transitioning yourself from campus to corporate. The next thing is communication. See, the most important thing of communication is you cannot not communicate. You can't say that, okay, I'm not communicating at all. Even if you're quiet, you're saying something. How beautiful is that, right? Even by not saying something, you're saying something. Through your body language, through your facial expression, which is called your non-verbal cues, basically. Through actions. So your communication at a broader level, it can be verbal, non-verbal, and written. Verbal is basically the way you talk, the way you present yourself, you listen carefully, the tone, the pitch, everything comes under it. We just can't, though we are upset, we are stressed, we just can't go and shout in a meeting room. Can we? No. That is not a corporate decorum. And non-verbal cues, like you're very stern and you're showing angry face to people. You can't do that. Written communication is equally important, because once you get into the corporate life, you'll be sending emails to people, you'll be sending minutes of meeting to people. Make sure that you use a follow you use the proper format for sending emails. If you want to send an email, say hi so and so, and then the organizations may be following some stationery for your signature and things like that. Ask your team leader, ask the person who is assigned as a buddy or whoever, and then make sure that you are sending proper email to whomever you want to send. It could be anything in writing, because that is impactful. And like I said, people evaluate you based on how you speak, how you write, and how you behave, your body language, and a lot of other things. The next thing is teamwork. Though you may be a very successful person individually, you might have scored like 10% in your college, in your school, and you are the brightest candidate in the team. But then you're not alone there. Your work impacts the teamwork. And always remember that together we achieve more. Individually, we achieve less. So you have to always have the teamwork spirit, working together spirit. That mindset will take you to a long run. And the next thing is the time management. In college, the situation was different, right? Even if you were not able to make it to a class because you overslept or you had a party or whatever, you could not make it, you still have 75% attendance or 80% attendance, you can still be evaluated and you still get good grades. But then in corporate, it's not like that. You are evaluated based on certain key responsibilities or certain goals and objectives that is set at the beginning of the year. And one of the goals and objective is also your timeliness. That is also discipline. And you are measured for the work that you do. If a task is assigned for you to complete it today, you need to complete it today itself. If not, you have to report it to the management that you are not able to complete this for so and so reason. So there is nothing like talking in air when a job responsibility is assigned to you. The work performance and the quality of work, everything is spoken in a measurable way. So as you hit the corporate journey, my recommendation for you is make sure that you are making a to-do list for yourself. Number one, stop multitasking, like looking into the phone and then also working and speaking on phone. See, nobody is going to supervise you, like sit beside you and supervise you, like how we do in college. But then without actively supervising, people will get to know, when your work is getting impacted. That is why I said you are watched, you are monitored, you are observed. Only focus on what matters. Don't focus on everything together. Remove distractions, if any. A phone call or a WhatsApp chat, or if your friends are calling you back to back, just tell them that you are busy at work and you will speak to them only after the working hours. Set expectations to people in the right way, to your family, to your friends, to other colleagues in office, or whoever it is. Write down your priorities. Make sure that you're writing your priorities. If the task is a bigger task, make sure that you're breaking the tasks into small steps. And we are all human beings, we tend to forget. And that is why we have our electronic gadgets where you can set reminders and ask the phone or your watch to remind you. Clean the clutter, your email and the desktop and everything. If something has to be pushed to the recycle bin, set up a day and move it. Pretty much this will help you to be a very organized person from day one. I still think about the example of myself, right? When I moved from campus to corporate, I was actually put into a team of full of experienced associates, like all were seniors, like 10 years experience and all that. It was extremely challenging for me to keep the pace with them and learn things. At the same time, the best part is it helped me to learn things very easily because they were all experts. It was very easy for me to get groomed and also learn from them. So it depends on how do you see things. If you think a day is challenging, you will not be able to make it, you will not be able to make it. If you think after every challenge or behind every challenge there is an opportunity for you to learn and grow, you will be able to learn and grow. Right? The next thing is ambition. Ambition is a very big topic, right? Everyone wants to be ambitious, everyone wants to move up the ladder, hit get promotions and be successful and all that. But then a time to focus here is ambition is good but not being very over ambitious, right? You can't think like, okay, you join the company in 6 months you want to get a promotion, and you go and speak to your boss and the boss is saying like, you need to learn a few more things and you're not ready right now, and you become extremely disappointed, thinking like, no, 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 boss doesn't do anything. I'm the best. I deserve a promotion. Let me leave the job. It doesn't work that way in corporate. There is a learning period. You have to come up the learning curve. You have to learn your process, learn the people, learn the company, and it definitely would take more than 6 months to 1 year for you to settle down in a company. So don't try to be too ambitious. It's okay. Take a pause. Learn. Like I said, enjoy this journey, and you'll be able to cherish it when you hit like 10 years of experience, or when you hit 2 decades of work experience. The next and the most important thing, and my favorite thing, is act and learn from mistakes. We normally hold ourselves back from acknowledging the mistakes and taking corrective actions. And in corporate, let me tell you, this is the mantra to be successful and to get a very good reputation with you in front of in front of your seniors, in your leadership team, and in your entire organization. Because this is one of the behaviors that they expect from the associates like us. They expect that we should be able to acknowledge the mistakes and learn from them, embrace and learn from them. Because remember, nobody can be perfect in this world, right? Can anyone be perfect? No. And no organization expects us to be perfectionists also, because we are not machines, we are not robots. We are human beings with emotions. It's okay if we do a mistake, but let's learn from that and let's not repeat, and let's acknowledge it. Do not take the habit of blame game. And this is very important behavior that every organization expects from their employees. The next thing is stress management, and I know this is the talk of the town, and this is something which is a very critical topic, and people do a lot of workshops and everything. Everyone goes through stress. Today, if you see, even a 1 year old child goes through stress, right? So why and what can you do when you think that you are into stress, when you, because your responsibilities are going to increase, right? It's not going to be like a college life where you're happy, like, you're enjoying your life, campus life, and you're just moving around with your friends and you're just writing your exam, and after that you relax, you can sleep at any time, you can wake up at any time. You're going to slowly transition from that lifestyle to a different lifestyle, which is going to be pretty much organized, which is going to be little formal, but also it's going to be very good. See, you're going to earn for yourself, feel proud about it, and along with that, there could be some kind of stress that you would encounter, but if you manage it properly, you should just be good with it. There could be good stress also. So certain tips which I think will be useful is, have that me time. You see that smiley? That is about me time. When was the last time you stood in front of the mirror and said that you are the best? When was the last time you stood in front of the mirror and said that I love myself? I'm the most beautiful person in the world. When was the last time? I'm the most handsome guy in the world. When was the last time you said that? If you have not done it, please say that today. And do that every day. Because that is the biggest investment that you can do for yourself. Self appreciation. Because what we do, we are just running behind people for appreciation. We want our teachers to appreciate, we want our sirs to appreciate, we want our employers or bosses to appreciate, parents to appreciate, siblings or friends or partners or whomever. But then we forget to appreciate ourselves, and me time will really help you to do that. Whatever you like doing, if you like listening to music, spend 30 minutes and just enjoy that rhythm. If you like to do something for yourself, do it. If you like to go for a walk, do it. But then spend that me time for yourself. Take care of your health. That's more important after you join your corporate life also, because you become so busy that you will forget the routine work of doing some exercises or whatever it is, right? Or walking or whatever. Remember, nobody's going to remind you of all this. Enjoy life as it is. Don't stress over it. The phase that you're going through right now, once you get a job offer, and then you transition yourself from campus to corporate, enjoy that phase. Make yourself ready, be prepared. There's nothing called impromptu in this world. There could be some impromptu speeches, but they don't work in real life, right? You have to be prepared. It's okay, relax. Slow down. Like I said, don't be too ambitious, like you want to achieve everything in 6 months, 8 months. Don't work like a clock, right? It's okay. Pause and slow down. Take it easy. There may be something that might happen which is not in your favor. Maybe someone else got selected for a promotion, or someone else got the job offer which you were looking for. It's okay. There is always a next opportunity. And this is something I would like to strongly advise to the college graduates right now is, it's okay if you don't crack that job offer, the job interview. There is always the next best opportunity that is waiting for you. Try to accept rejections in life. That helps you to be successful. Failures are the stepping stone to success. It's okay. It's okay to fail, right? Spend time outside. Go out in fresh air. These are the tips which will really help you to come out of stress, and this helps everyone, right? Small kids, elderly people, or whomever. So try these tips when you feel that you're stressed in with studies or whatever it is. Taking responsibility. Right. In corporate, the most appreciated behavior is take responsibility for work, for tasks, for assignments, for mistakes also. Don't play the blame game. Life is not what happens to me, but what I make happen. Normally, people play that victim mentality. It happens only with me. This boss is only shouting at me. This colleague is only not cooperating with me. This teacher is only having a grudge on me. No. If you think that they are having a grudge only on you, then definitely they're going to have a grudge only on you. Life is not about what happens to you, but what I make it happen. If things are not working fine for you, see what can work best for you and take responsibility for that change in life. So these were the soft skills. Of course, there are too many. Then I just added the important things that is truly essential for you when you get into the organization, so that you don't look unprepared, right? So some of the technical skills that is required for this transition, and I'm going to cover these up very quickly. Just the terms, right? There are a couple of things that you should also be aware of. Be it you join the IT team or you join a manufacturing. I know that the students are from various streams here, so I just made sure that I'm able to cover it for everybody, right? So there is something called 5S technique, right? And there is another thing called brainstorming, and then 5W and 1H problem solving technique, Kaizen, and daily work management. These are the things that you will hear once you get into the organization. So I think you can just make use of this session, and then if somebody asks questions in your corporate journey, you should be able to answer that question as well, because you're getting to know these terms right now. So what is this 5S technique, right? This is a Japanese system of organizing things. And the 5S stands for number one stands for sort, number two stands for set in order, number three stands for shine, four stands for standardize, and five stands for sustain. So what does this mean, right? This, you can apply this in your personal life and professional life. So I'm going to give one example of your professional life. So once you join the organization, you'll be given a laptop or a system, whatever, and you save all the files on the desktop, right? So it's going to become very cumbersome for you to organize it. So the first and foremost step is keep only necessary items that is required on your desktop. Don't keep everything there. If it is not required, just delete them. Arrange these items to promote workflow. So arrange it. Like for example, if you want to organize your cupboard, what will you do? You'll first see what are the clothes that is required. You take and keep them there, and what is not required, you throw them. And you arrange it like a trousers and shirts, and you arrange and keep it. Another trousers and shirt, another trousers and shirt. You arrange and keep it so that it helps you to use it the next day. You don't have to search it, pull it from here and there. And make sure you clean the work area. Of course, the organization will be having the facilities team and everybody to clean it, but you clean the place where you sit, your laptop. Make sure your water jug is cleaned and everything is kept ready. Use consistent standards to make sure it happens. Like make it a routine. Okay, last week I cleaned it. Let me again clean it after 2 weeks. Let me follow these steps again. And maintain and review the standards. right? Sustain it. So this is the 5S technique that will help you not only in your personal life but in your professional life also to be very organized. And this will save time, this will improve productivity, this will improve efficiency. Overall, this is a tool that is used in organizations to make sure that the employees and the work is getting done as per plan. The next thing is the 5 why technique. So you keep asking why until you achieve the root cause. This is the 5 why technique. For example, I flunked in maths exam. Why? Why did I flunk in maths exam? Because I did not prepare. Why didn't I prepare? Because I did not study. Why didn't I study? I went with my friend and I was watching a movie. Right? And then why? Because the friend did not allow me to study. So these why technique will help you to the root cause and you can address it. Okay, so going forward, when I have my next exam, I will make sure that I will call out my friend as a distraction and I will not go with him again until my exam is over. Similarly, even in your work life, when there is an issue, when there is a task that needs to be accomplished, or when there is a problem, you can actually solve it by asking, by implementing this technique of why until you get the root cause of the problem so that you are able to handle it. The next thing is 5 why and 1H technique. So 5 why, we were asking why, and then 1H is how. Normally, what happens in the criminal series and everything, even our parents and all when we were kids. So you tell them all the story, like why all this happened, but they still ask you how. Okay, all that is fine, but how? How did that happen? How did you let it happen? Your friend called, it's okay. But how did you let it happen? How did you let him be a distraction in your life when you know that your maths exam is very important for you? So this is a 5 why and 1H technique that organizations are incorporating in making sure that we are the work product is efficient and we are able to complete the work on time. The next thing is brainstorming. If you're stuck in handling an issue, if you're not able to complete a task, or if you're stuck in between an issue, like you're working on a programming, and then you're not able to crack the code. So instead of you just thinking and getting stressed about the issue, what you could do is you can involve the team and brainstorm. Brainstorming is nothing but collectively thinking about the problem and coming up with various solutions, different perspectives. If you're thinking as one individual, you may just get only few ideas. But if you're thinking as so many individuals together, then you may get different lot of ideas, right? So normally, I believe you do it with your friends also. You just discuss with them, hey, I'm in this problem now. What do I do? Then all of your friends come together and they give you a lot of suggestions and they give you a lot of ideas and you pick the best one. The similar thing you do in organization also, and it is very important that you connect with people, you collaborate and come up with ideas. And the last thing is Kaizen. Kaizen is nothing but the Japanese technique for continuous improvement. So Kai stands for change, Zen stands for good or better. So Kaizen is a daily thing. It's a continuous improvement, it's a daily thing. It has to be done every day, everywhere, by everyone. So basically, what is it? It is nothing but the large number of smaller improvements. Every day you find an improvement in your work. Once you start getting your knowledge transition, you learn how to work and you're done with your onboarding formalities and everything, you'll be on a knowledge sharing not program where you learn about the company, where you learn about the technology, then you'll be assigned work. So when you're assigned with work, every day you need to think about how can I make my work better, how can I make my team's productivity better, how can I bring value additions to the work that I'm doing, what are the repetitive tasks that I'm doing and how can I eliminate. So you should always think in that aspect. That is what is the Japanese technique for continuous improvement. This shows that there is always benefits to the team, there is always improvement in the productivity, there is always a lot of good work coming in, and a betterment for the organization in the overall in long run. The other one is the daily work management. Basically, this is managing your work effectively by using certain techniques, like you use your checklist for making sure that this is the activity, you use define standards for it, you establish ownership. Okay, this is my work and I own it. So nobody's going to come and remind you every day, you know what, this is your work, this is your daily assignment, you please do and let me know. No, It's not going to be like a school or a college situation where you're reminded to do your assignments, you're reminded to submit the notes, you're reminded to come to college, you're reminded to come and collect something. So nobody's going to remind you. You have to take responsibility. Only then you'll be taken seriously in the corporate world. Yeah. And then before, like I said in the beginning, before you join the world of work, there are certain aspects that you need to keep in mind. Number one, you are part of a team, right? If you don't do your bit, it will impact others also. You need to know that. If you're not doing your part and saying like, oh, somebody will take care of it, no, it doesn't work that way. You need to move forward courageously in the midst of uncertainty, because we don't know what tomorrow will bring in, right? You need to face the change with courage. Once you go to the organization, they will give you training, they'll ask you to do work on by yourself. It's okay if you don't ask questions. Start small. Don't fear and then step out. Discovery is your job, which means what? Don't always wait for instructions. Okay, my manager will come and tell me. Until then, I'll let me sit and relax. Let me just go to the cafeteria and have coffee. Let me just go down and go for a walk and come. No, try to figure things out for yourself. Try to find out how to do things. There are a lot of things that you need to do on the HR front. There are a lot of things that you need to do on the administration front. You need to open bank account. You need to get your details configured. You need to configure your system that they give it to you. You need to be proactive in making sure that you're getting it done. You can't wait for instructions, because you are called as a mature professional once you join the college, once you join the corporate. Make best use of all the formal training. There'll be a lot of trainings available for you, online, offline, anywhere. Make sure that you are making best use of all those trainings. Don't ignore them. Don't say like, oh my god, these people are always coming up with trainings, I don't want to attend. I can tell you the majority of my life, even now, is what I've been investing in doing trainings for myself. And that has helped me so much in growing in my professional career. The first company I joined was IBM. And I can tell you, like, whatever I am today is because of the formal trainings that I've got in the company called IBM, in IBM, in Invesco, and in the current organization as well, in Flowserve as well. So never miss an opportunity to attend a training or a workshop where you're getting to learn something more than what you knew yesterday. Because what brought you here will not take you there. You have to keep on upgrading yourself. You have to keep on learning. Say yes first. A positive attitude is always appreciated, is always welcome in any circumstance, right? Always exhibit a can-do attitude. Yes. So don't say first in the first instance of never say no, I cannot do it. At least say yes and seek what it is and learn and do it. And the and the most important thing, one of my favorite thing is select a mentor for yourself. A mentor is not nobody but a senior or a peer or a friend whom you admire and whom you respect, from whom you would like to learn a lot, and you would like to take their counsel as well. So find out a mentor in your organization, within your team or in the other team, so that you can get guidance from them. You can get their counsel for you to do better in your current role. At the same time, they will also help you in teaching you the mistakes that they did, which can work as a lesson for you. So always try to do this. Remember, your team is keen to make this thing work for you, right? So don't think that, okay, don't take it very easy. Come out of that take it easy kind of a mindset. Everyone is working for success, and your team is on your side, so you have to play to win. And one last thing in this area is avoid frequent job hopping. What the candidates normally do is they get a campus placement. They go ahead and join a company with a whatever compensation it is, and they get bored in like 3 months, 6 months. They want to make a job hopping. They try to see another friend who is doing it, and they want to follow his footsteps and try another organization. and then 6 months and one year later again they want to try for another job. Initially you may be very successful, but then after a period of time you become stagnant in one role, and people also don't appreciate so many hops, right? In 6 months, 1 year, like I said, it takes good 1 or 2 years or minimum 3 years for you to establish yourself in an organization. And remember, organization is investing heavily on you, in hiring you, in training you, in making sure that you are right for fit for the job. And you need to also contribute back to the organization and appear like a reliable resource for the company, so that you're appreciated and you're promoted and you're recognized. Yeah, so some of the corporate jargons or the corporate buzzwords that you need to be aware of, right? Because once you hit the floor, people will be using these words on and off on the floor, and you should not be lost. Oh my God, what is this man saying? Or what is this lady saying, right? So, agile, I'm sure all of you must have heard about this term agile or agility. Agile is nothing but being able to respond and adapt quickly to changes. So, this person is agile. He thinks in a very agile way. He promotes agility. Impact, right? Impact is influence. Your session has impacted everyone in a positive way. That is impact. Robust is nothing but being able to perform well without breaking down. So I have a robust methodology for making sure that everyone cracks the interview. That is robust. Gain traction when things are starting to move towards a desired goal. This advertisement has gained traction in the industry. Deep dive, I think you will hear a lot of this term, people using deep dive. I want to have a deep dive analysis with you. I want to sit with you and understand the process. So people will say deep dive is nothing but a very exhaustive analysis of something. Leverage is to use. So I'll be leveraging you for the next project. You should not think like what are you saying? So leveraging is nothing but using you for the next project. Being on the same page is like, having on the same have being on the same page is nothing but being on the same kind of understanding. Your boss would say like, please come down tomorrow for the meeting, and I want to make sure that both of us are on the same page. So what he means is, let us be aligned, let us have the same understanding of others. Touch base, like I want to connect with you and understand. Instead of saying connect, they will say I want to touch base with you on this topic. So get yourself familiarized with these. These are not the only words. There are so many words. You can just Google it. You can find out. So before you hit the corporate door or hit the corporate footstep, please make sure that you at least get yourself well versed with these, so that you will be very confident. You'll be like wow when you go there. You'll not look like nervous. Thinking, oh my God, what are they speaking? If somebody says, you need to give your 110%, that means they're expecting a lot from you. This is reading between the lines. Somebody says you are the new joiner in this, or you are the person in this project, I would expect 110% thing from you. So which means they're expecting a lot from you. Reinventing the wheel is nothing but duplicating a method that already exists. So you will hear a lot of corporates saying that I don't want to reinvent the wheel, let's see whether that process can work now. So when somebody says reinvent the wheel, you should not think like, okay, what is it, what is the literal meaning of reinvent the wheel? Yeah. And a few other abbreviations like KPI is nothing but key process indicators. Once you hit the corporate flow, once the work assignments are done, you will see a lot of visual boards on how your team is performing, and based on the key performance indicators you'll be evaluated. There's something called key responsibility area, that is KRA. And goal, there'll be a goal setting for you. And what is the goal setting? How the goal setting should be? It should be smart. Smart is nothing but specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. You cannot say that, I have a goal and I want to continue with it for 10 years or 20 years. And WIFM is what is in it for me. Okay, so you're doing the session, but what is it for me? What is in it for me? What are the takeaways for me? SME. So once you join the company, you would be assigned with an SME. SME is a person who is a subject matter expert, who knows everything about the process and procedure and everything, who's basically a go-to person, right? And close, they would say, send this report to me by COB, which means by close of business, by end of the day. Before you leave, send me the details and go. Otherwise, you're going to face the repercussion, right? And you would see people when they're not available in office, they're on leave. You would when you send a mail to them, you would get an out of office message from them. It says they're out of office. POC is nothing but point of contact. So who is the point of contact for the new joiners when they join the company. So there'll be a point of contact who will give you the laptop, who will help you in opening the bank accounts, who would help you in getting your meal vouchers, who will help you in doing all those things. That person will be your point of contact. So PTO, people will say like you must be hearing people saying, I'm on PTO. So what is PTO? PTO, nothing but paid time off, which means people are on leave. And FYI, I'm sure you must be knowing, which is for your information. Yes. So we've come towards the end of the session now, and Mr. Prabhakar, if that's okay, I would like to open it for Q&A. Hello, Mr. Prabhakar, can you hear me? Mr. Prabhakar, can we open it up for Q&A?
Hi, yeah, Vani Gopalan. Yeah, I'm on the backstage. That's why, yeah, bit delay.
Okay, no problem.
We can
open it
open for yeah, Q&A session.
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, dear students, if you have any questions, please post in the comment your questions so that Dr. Vani Gopalan will answer for those questions. Usually, Vani Gopalan, the frequent asked questions, whereas it comes from the student side, where is the work location, and usually they know about the package, career growth, and any bond is there. So for like any 2 year, 3 year service bond is there. So usually these kind of questions only the students will ask. So for this frequent asked questions, if you answer, so that it can be benefited to all.
Okay. So that's a good question, and I would suggest that the students can ask those questions in the HR discussion. So there are various rounds of interviews, like you see the written test and then the group discussion, and then there will be a in-person, face-to-face interview with the hiring manager, right? So which will be basically like a technical interview. So there is definitely the last round will be the HR interview. So once they progress to the HR interview, that is where they can ask questions like the signing of bond, compensation, work location, and shift timing and everything. And these questions need not even be asked. The HR is going to provide the information to them on these aspects by themselves. So I would suggest the students to wait until they have an opportunity to speak to the HR to answer these questions.
Yeah, Vani Gopalan. Another one thing is when it comes to the HR round, usually the very first question will be introduce yourself. So there many students struggle to give answers because there is a template. Whereas go for any kind of training, there is a template. So from your view, so you tell me some innovative things which we can explore the students in a different way. Yeah.
Yes, like I said, the elevator pitch, like I said, right? That's very important. Like a 30 seconds to 90 seconds, they have to prepare a self introduction for themselves. That is the mantra. So that should talk about their name, their qualification, and the personality traits. Like what can they bring to the table? I mean, bring to the organization. And this should be in combination with the job description, the role that they're applying for. Like graduate engineering trainee. So whether they're going in IT, whether they're going in mechanical engineering, or whether they're going in different streams. So based on that, they need to write 1 or 2 lines on what they can offer. And lastly, they can sum it up by saying they have actually read through the company profile and they're pretty much interested in the company's employee value proposition or the company's innovation or the company's people first culture, because today you see most of the organization are people first culture and they brand it so well. So these are some of the things which the employees can, put it in their introduction, that builds the connect directly with the HR. Yeah, when they're doing the introduction. But I would say preparation is the key. They have to prepare. They cannot come impromptu and start introducing themselves.
When it comes to the weakness, usually apart from the resume, the things they want to explore their weakness. And as your view, so how they can explore this? If you give some tips, it would benefit all.
Yeah. So only like few things I can suggest, right? Do not try to hide your weakness, and always try to, if you want to talk about a weakness, always try with an improvement uh, measure that you've already taken. Like I said, the procrastination, right? I am someone who keeps postponing things. So you talk about, honestly talk about what are the steps that you're taking to avoid that. So, like I said, the student can say, I'm working on a time management plan. I'm working on creating a checklist for myself. I'm adding reminders to my calendar so that I don't miss on it. And I see that I've improved a lot from past 6 months. They can talk about it. And I would say, let them not cover their weakness by talking something about their strength. Like normally people do in interviews, they say, like, I'm a very hardworking, dedicated person. That is my weakness because I tend to work more. So people try to probe a lot in asking, back and forth questions around that. They can talk about that. And what I have seen is people become very vulnerable sometimes. Like they say, I'm a very emotional person. Yeah. So they say, I'm a very emotional person. When somebody hurts me, I'm just in tears. Or when I don't like something that is happening around me, I try to scream. So these are the things that they say, but it's okay to admit these weaknesses. At the same time, the next question that the recruiter or the hiring manager is going to ask is like, okay, so what are you doing to overcome this? Because he or she also understands that all of us have weakness. So as long as you tell what are you doing to overcome the weakness, I think they're going to be very good about it, because they're looking for candidates who are honest and candid.
Yeah, thank you, Vani Gopalan. Another one thing is, when it comes to the strengthen, like strength and weaknesses part is very important. As you said, the weakness you are covered. When it comes to strengthen, people will say that I am be honest, hard worker, and those things, the templated points, whereas they keep as like a corporate, how you look at those things.
Okay. So like I said, yes, how we expect. I can talk for myself, right? I expect the candidates to be honest, right? So I don't want them to be, completely prepared and providing, not being very authentic about these, because it's very easy for us to get to know once we start probing. Like somebody says, I am very loyal and that is my weakness, so we start probing. Okay, so what do you mean by loyal? What happened, this, that? So we ask a lot of questions. So when we ask those questions, people are not able to answer any further. Like why analysis, we do why analysis to get to the bottom of it, right? So my recommendation is, you be who you are. And that is why I said, learn to accept rejections also. It's not that, you have to crack every interview. It's not that. If not this opportunity, you're definitely going to have another opportunity after a good preparation. So embrace rejection, embrace failure also, because that is where you learn to be successful. The next interview that you're going to attend is going to be much better than what you did right now. So that habit needs to be inculcated to the new generation kids, I think, because impatience comes along. I know I have a teenager at home. That's why I'm saying they're very impatient. They want to, achieve everything in first go, right? So that may not work, right? Also, so to answer to your question, on the to the point, I would say, just be yourself, be authentic. If you have a certain weakness, you talk about it and say what are you doing to overcome it, and we are going to be perfectly. I'm going to be perfectly okay with that.
Yes, thank you. Now, another one thing is, when it comes to the like a corporate interview, usually we inform the students come with a very formal dress with a clean shave, like the formal shoes and all. This been templated for over the decade. Now, as in this generation, how you the corporate people, how you are looking those things?
Okay, I think nothing has changed, right? Of course, it's a different generation now. We're talking about Gen Z and their behavior and everything. But then when it comes to corporate decorum, every organization has their own dressing code, right? Of course, some organization may have a like all casual day and all formal day and 4 days formals, business formals, and then one day business casuals. So it depends on various organizations. According to me, I would say for an interview, it's always formal. Yeah, like whatever you do, you said yes, the clean shave or the formal dress code is something which is always expected from the candidates, because if someone is on a jeans or someone is on a casual dress, it makes them look very casual. It doesn't bring that seriousness when we look at them. That is why I insist people to always be informal, so that they are their best.
Okay. And another thing is, when it comes to the HR interview, the people will ask the question, where you want to be in another 5 years, how you see yourself. So in that question, so what if you give some suggestions, it would benefit our students.
See, the reason behind asking this question itself is the company or the HR is actually looking to understand the candidate's stability, whether this person is going to stick on to this company for next 3 years, 5 years, or this person is going to keep hopping. I think that is the reason behind asking this question. So my recommendation to this question would be like again, it goes back to the job description and looking at the company profile. So if the candidate is applying for a job in a company, which means they're showing they are interested in applying for the job, right? So when you look at the job description, when you read about the company, you should have a good understanding about, okay, for next 3 years, next 5 years, I want to build my career in this company and then move somewhere else. We are not saying that you have to be like a tree, permanently be in a company, right? So at least for next 5 years, one should have a growth plan. Like talk about at a very high level. No, I want to grow in this company. I want to learn this technology and become a team lead, and then I plan for a long term career objective with this organization, because I think this organization really supports employees to grow, to go to the next level. And I have seen the company portal where I see a lot of leadership demonstration, a lot of things going on in this company. So when you talk about that, people actually get a very good understanding, one, on your plan for next few years, and then the next thing what they also understand is they really get a good feeling about the candidate spending that going that extra mile, and trying to know the company, and going trying to know the company values and behaviors and all that. Yeah, so only when you are interested to join the company, you would take that extra step to know more about the company.
Yes, thank you. And another one thing is, this over the decades, the more priority goes for the CGPA. Okay. So what mark it carries from the right beginning from the 10th standard, usually the companies will see. But most of the companies, they are having their own policies, and as time being, it is getting changed. In your view about that?
Yeah, in my view, like I said, I am someone who believes in hire for attitude and train the skills. So that is something which I definitely follow. And most of my hiring for so many in my so many years of experience, I've done hiring based on that. Which means I'm not saying that mark should be completely ignored. Mark is also a criteria, but it is not the only criteria for me to do my evaluation. And if you see, I think this is it's a very good question, and it's for the candidates also, right? You're not equipped with everything in the schools and colleges for you to make corporate ready. So you come to the organization, and the work that you do is, I would say, completely different than what you learned in your college. So giving that much weightage only for the marks is something which I think that system should change. It should be a combination of your behavior, your attitude, and your other skill sets, along with your marks and CCP scores and everything.
Yeah, thank you, Vani Gopalan. And moreover, the recent days, the project is getting a more weightage uh, in the competition. So in your view, how important the project is?
See, again, project is also one of the aspect, right? Because project work or the contribution of the candidates in the project actually talks about various things, like what we want to evaluate in the group discussion, like their team building, their teamwork, and their problem solving skills, their communication skills, and basically how are they in performing things. So this is what is expected from them when we evaluate based on the projects. So I think it is more than the project. We want to evaluate the skill set that they demonstrate in participating in the project, in successfully completing that project, than anything else. Yeah, does it answer your question, Prabhakar?
Yeah. So another one more question is about the hackathon. It is becoming a familiar nowadays. All the companies
Yes.
they are conducting hackathon, even all the colleges they are conducting a hackathon. So about the hackathon, in your view, please.
See, I think I would actually, I would say I'm pretty positive about the hackathons, right? Because that gives a lot of enthusiasm to the college graduates and to the organization as well, because I see that as a win-win. So like I said in the beginning, we organizations are striving hard to hire the future leaders for their companies. So this generation, like people whom I'm addressing right now, are future leaders of the nation and the world. So we don't want to miss an opportunity to hire these future leaders, because they are very creative, they are futuristic, and they are completely different than us. So they are like one generation apart. So we want to make sure that we leverage that opportunity of hiring them, and it's a positive thing according to me.
Okay, thank you. And about this now, the work from home culture, because of this corona, even all of them got opportunity for this work from home culture, and how effective it was, and even the corporate view, and how you are going to be deal this in future.
Yes, like they say, right? Change is always disruptive. So this was like a disruptive change that was introduced in our lives, all of us. And I would say, there are pros and cons to everything, right? So I would first talk about the pros, like what are the real good things that happened um, with working from home. So I would say the work-life balance concept that people talk about now, it is about workplace integration. Yeah, so this gave an opportunity for people to prioritize, because in one aspect we were sharing the same, our home space, with our family for our work as well. So that was a kind of disruption in that, in the family area. But then people also understood the need for it. That's one. Second thing is, you are, you are at your own place to take care of your work and things like that, which means you get in some additional time to spend with your family. Of course, you're there all the time, like people who have younger kids and elderly parents and everybody. I think it's a great opportunity for them to rebond and connect with your family members, I would say. And of course, the delta part is, if it is a struggle for us to bifurcate or differentiate that when is the end of the day for you. At times we work till late night, like 11 p.m. So it is a personal choice that you make, according to me, on what is a work-life balance for you. Right? One particular day on a Monday, if I'm needed at home more than anything else, like somebody's not well at home and my support is required, then I'm like there for my family. And similarly, on a Sunday, if I'm needed for work, if there is an outage for a priority one issue, then I am there at office no matter what. I'm giving my 100% there even on a Sunday. I'm not saying that it's a work life balance, I'll not work on a Sunday. So it depends on how you balance your work, and it depends on how you make it work in your favor. And then at the end of the day, it's a win-win, should be a win-win for the employee and the organization. And one last thing I would like to add here is, if we face challenges along for the employees and even for the new joiners who are going to come in, I don't know how long this work from home model is going to continue, or the work flexibility is going to continue. If you're, if you hit a roadblock, if you're in a challenging situation, pick up the phone and call and talk to your boss, talk to your manager, talk to your supervisor, tell them that this is the problem I'm going through. They'll be more than happy to help. Like, don't keep anything within yourself. So this pandemic situation has really helped us. I would say we were away physically, but then it also helped us to connect, emotionally with each other in a much better way than how we were before, because we had so many virtual calls, we had so many virtual meetings, we were in touch with people, because so many people were impacted with COVID and things like that. We used to have daily check-ins, talking to people, speaking to their family members. So we became more closer than how we were before, like from a bonding standpoint. Yeah, so it's just that when you are stuck in a situation, please ask for help. Do not hesitate to ask for help.
Yeah. Thank you. And another one thing is, no, in this pandemic scenario, most of them, no, all the colleges and schools have been turned to that online teaching module. And as a corporate, how you are looking this?
See, again, this I see from a country standpoint. From for academics, I'm still very unsure whether we are prepared for that, but we are making efforts. Like kids, because I have my own son at home, who's a teenager too. Then it is very challenging for him to also shift from a physical schooling versus an online platform, because we were not prepared. So this was pushed on all of us, including the kids, like a very disruptive change. So now I think after a year or so, they are very much flexible in operating in that model. They are fine with online tuitions, online education, and everything. But if you ask me, my personal suggestion is there is nothing can replace the in-person meetings or in-person learning atmosphere. So I think we should get back to our normal way of teaching and learning that would keep us more effective.
Sure. And one question we got it from Mr. Suresh Challa. And what do you expect from a fresher in technical things? And person who is expert and perfectly learned one technical language. First question he asked. Second thing is a person with limited knowledge in one language but willing to learn sooner.
See, both
So
the things, if you are, I think you should apply for the job opening that we have. So we certainly appreciate candidates. I mean, if you are having already you're trained on some skill set, that's an added advantage. Please apply for the job positions and then prepare yourself very well for the interview, because your interviewer is not only going to evaluate you on the technical skills, but they're going to evaluate you on other skills as well. So prepare yourself for that. And limited knowledge, it's fine. We are going to definitely train you and give you a very intensive training, so that you are going to learn. And then I think the willingness to learn sooner is a trait that all of us look forward to. And I think that would be a great trait that you can offer to any organization.
and another one thing is, when students coming for interview, before coming for interview, they themselves conclude that it's tough to crack, as mentally, they are not prepared. So they themselves come for conclusion, either we can't crack this interview, we can't crack that company interview. So in this perspective, how you want to advise those students, your views, please?
Yeah. So first and foremost thing is, like, I would say confidence is everything. Be confident. Thorough preparation is definitely going to make you confident. So the questions I gave you, like 75% of the questions, what they're going to ask in any kind of interview, the common interviews, and how to answer them. So once you're prepared, in answering those questions, I think the confidence comes automatically. And removing these roadblocks like, okay, I'm not going to crack it, I'm not worthy, I'm not going to do this. So those are, those self negative talks that should go away. And like I said, practice in the mirror, like go and say that, I am going to be successful in this interview, I'm going to crack it no matter what. So these kind of things will really empower you to get out of those disempowering thoughts that is running in our mind. And like I said, it's okay, be prepared. Embrace rejections also. All of us, like I can tell you, it's not that I was successful in all the job interviews that I attended, right? So embrace rejections and embrace failures and learn from them. It's okay if you, because if you're going with the okay mentality of rejection only, then you're going to be fully focused and be confident, give your 100% and leave the rest, is what I would suggest. When candidates really think about, because they're nervous and it shows up to us. When somebody's nervous, it shows up to us when they're talking and when they're answering certain questions, and it looks like they are not very comfortable. Yeah. So, and I said, like, common mistakes to avoid. This is one of the thing. Don't have those disempowering belief that I cannot make it, and don't have the focus completely on you. It's not only about you; it is about the company also, because the company is taking efforts. The company is investing money, time, and everything to invest in you. So it's a win-win. So if you're not getting selected, if you're good and you're not getting selected, the company is actually losing a great person. So think that way, no?
great one.
Yeah.
I hope almost the frequent asking questions I have covered mostly.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you know extremely did well. So it was an awesome the 1.5 hours what you delivered the content. So it helps everyone to crack the upcoming interviews and for this younger generation. So again, once again, I thank you for this spending this valuable time for J.N.N as well as the all other college students. And I'm taking this opportunity to thank Shivitaraman sir for to make this event a grand success. And another one, what is our placement team? So past 1 week to 10 days, they have taken all kind of efforts. So I thank them all at this time.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Prabhakar. This was a great opportunity. I think, like I said, it's nice to be part of this session and imparting, enabling people, imparting whatever experience and knowledge I have. And like I said, we are taking that one step ahead to groom our future leaders of the country and the world. So really looking forward to seeing great achievements with the people who are listening, and all the very best to your college and to yourself. And you guys are really doing a great thing in terms of supporting the students and helping them in every possible way to get placed in organizations, and providing with all kind of things that is really required for them. So congratulations for that.
Thank you, Dr. Vani Gopalan.
Awesome. Thank
So
you.
thank you. So hope we can close the session.
Yes,
Right.
awesome. Yes, we can. Yeah.